Very good. It's one of the toughest conversations you can have, but our next guest says it's very essential. Joining me now is former fire chief and 9/11 first responder, Tim Pelton. He is an expert in end-of-life planning. Tim, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Ryan.
Absolutely.
It's awesome to be here.
Now, so you have a very interesting topic. You say, obviously everybody at some point in their life passes away, but it's something that we should not have a negative outlook on. It should be a positive one.
Correct. And my experience is that if family members can have a conversation about what should happen when a loved one passes away, it can dramatically reduce the stress during the grieving process for friends and family.
So it's sort of like providing peace of mind for these families?
Absolutely. Now, as you can imagine, the subject matter is a little sensitive, and people are often put off by it.
Absolutely.
And that's why I bought my friend Mickey today.
Oh, Mickey Mouse is here.
Mickey Mouse is here because I found a little levity to lighten the message a little bit. A little humor can get us going. And I want to discuss why end-of-life planning is just like going to Disney World.
Okay, all right, tell us why.
All right, so let's imagine that we're going to Disney World and we plan months and months ahead for the trip.
To the hotel,
the airport,
tickets.
And we look at the airlines. Do I want to go in the morning and get up at 0 dark 30 and go to the airport, or go in the afternoon and have a more relaxed trip? Where do I want to stay? Do I want to stay on the Disney property and take advantage of the bus service and the monorail and all that?
Right.
Or do I want to stay off campus, save a couple of dollars, and go that way? Last but not least, what about the kids? Do they also want to go to Universal? Do they want to go to Billy Bob's Swamp Buggy ride? Whatever it is.
Is that a real ride?
That's a real ride.
Is it? Okay, I'll have to check that one out next time.
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. And so now let's transition that to end-of-life planning.
Okay.
A loved one passes away and you need to make a trip. Now, we've all gone through TSA at the airport, and you're standing there in your stocking feet, you're holding your pants up because they've taken your belt away, and what if you couldn't get mom's ashes and urn through security? Pretty embarrassing moment.
Yeah, what do you do then?
I have a whole protocol to help people deal with TSA when a loved one is passing through the airport.
Okay.
Next of all, we talked about accommodations. Do you want to be buried in a casket, or do you want to be cremated and put in an urn? The more we can talk about those elements way up front, the easier it is.
And this isn't just for people who are at an elder age. This is for young guys like me too, right? I mean, and it's funny because nobody really thinks about this. I never thought, hey, I need to have a plan in place, but forbid tomorrow something happens. It's good for my family to know what goes to my dad, my brother, my cat. You never know those things, so it's important to plan, right?
Right. The reality check is none of us really know when we're going to pass away. And with few exceptions, most of us have a long time to plan. Take advantage of that plan. Start to have the ultimate conversation.
What are some tips? Because that can be a little awkward talking to a family member about when they're going to pass away. How do you start that conversation?
There are lots of opportunities to start the conversation based on events. You go to the doctor's office. You've had a negative report from the doctor. You come back right away, sit down, talk about it. Honey, the biopsy came back. It's not good. We need to sit down and talk. I'm a former fire chief. For all my colleagues in public safety, we go in harm's way every day. We always know it'll be the other guy who might have the line of duty death. But what if it's not?
Right.
Sit down with your family and plan out those elements such that if we have a tragic event, part of their grieving process is at least reduced a little bit by having a comprehensive, well-communicated plan.
And the cool thing is that you have a lot of this information in your book. You kind of tell your story. Very briefly, can you tell us how you got into this? Because you have an interesting background in being a 9/11 first responder.
Right. Well, first of all, I'm the sole survivor of a family of 5. Buried mom, dad, brother, sister, and when you bury 4 family members, you learn a lot along the way. I'm also a first responder mental health specialist that responds around the country to help my colleagues in public safety when they're having a really tough day.
Okay.
And so I've dealt with hundreds and hundreds of surviving families, 99.9% of which had no plan for what to deal with.
Right. Well, Tim, it's a very interesting and eye-opening topic. It's something that many people can struggle to start that conversation, but also in your binder you have a planning guide, which is very insightful because it's just, you flip through the pages and it shows you what you need to write down so that, God forbid, if something were to happen, your family can open it up and say, oh, hey, Ryan's stuff is here, we're going, so it's a full roadmap for the future.
It's a place to collect all that information that is somewhere in our house. What are the bank account numbers? What is the life insurance policy numbers? Where's the title to the car? All that data can be collected in one simple place, and it's not for you. It's for your loved ones and surviving family that you leave behind.
All right, and it's cool because there's actually some interesting and unique ways to be buried or cremated now. It's not like it used to be. There's a lot of unique ways.
Correct. And this is where I like to put fun back in funeral.
Because when I think funeral, I think fun, of course.
And the first option is a program put together by the folks at eternalreef.com, and they will take cremated remains, mix them with a little cement, and make a nice urn or a globe, and make you become part of an artificial reef out in Key West in Florida.
Wow.
And after this February, to be in 75-degree weather or water for eternity,
Wow.
maybe that's not such a bad option.
Yeah, hey, it's a lot better than being here in Connecticut, I guess. But hey, thank you, Tim, for joining us so much. You guys can check out his book and planning guide. It's called The Ultimate Family Gift at timpelton.com. Tim, thanks again so much. Coming up